This Halloween, we find out, are vampires real?
Do you drink people's blood?
Correct.
I am nervous.
Their love lives.
Sex is very disgusting.
It's an emotion that I've just kind of gotten rid of.
Their families.
So who were you setting on fire?
Well, that was my son. My son.
An all-new Tyra starts now.
This crazy new HBO series about vampires called True Blood. I know y'all have heard of True Blood, right? Oh, yeah. And they've got this like off the hook, insane ad campaign. Check out these posters that they have for the show. It's like top model vampire, yeah. And they're smiling with their fangs. Okay, everybody's obsessed with that book series Twilight. You guys heard about Twilight? It's this book series. Wow, yeah. It's about an ordinary teen girl who is madly in love with a vampire boy. And there's even a big movie coming out in November, a Twilight movie. So some people totally believe that vampires are real, but I've got to say, I'm not so sure. And that's why we're doing a special Tyra Show vampire investigation. So let's meet a man known as the Vampire King, Don. Come on out, Don. Come sit next to you, but I'm nervous. Me too. Oh my God, I'm gonna hug a vampire. Ah! Oh my God, he has the teeth too. Sit down. He's got the teeth too. Okay, does anybody notice like how I'm dressed today? It's like, I'm like, child, I am nervous up in here.
Damn here.
Oh, you're nervous too?
Of course, you have a live studio audience.
And you're nervous? Like, you have these fangs that can dig into my throat right now.
Yeah, but usually I'm quite the hermit when I'm at home. So.
Oh, you're a hermit?
Yeah, quite a bit. Usually, I heard the Vampire King thing. Those who are in my circle usually call me the Emperor. But at the same time, I usually try to keep myself away from the regular energies of society and things like that.
The regular energies.
So that way I can focus on my studies. You know?
Okay, so we're regular.
Well, I wouldn't say regular.
Like we're not vampires.
Correct.
When you're a little boy and your teeth fell out, did those teeth come in? Like how my molars came in? Let's see them. Did those come out like that?
No, they're all filed out.
Oh, they're filed out. But they were, did they grow that long, or did you add
exactly.
something to
added,
it?
Yes.
There's a little bit added. Okay. So, gosh, I'm looking at you on the monitor. Put those on face. Wow, you look scary. You look like that movie Vampire Lestat. Doesn't he? Yeah. Like, and sometimes, like, when people try to be vampires, they put, like, all the makeup on and stuff.
Correct.
You don't even
I wanted to make sure that I reflected things in the correct atmosphere.
But you don't even have the makeup on and stuff. You just have the face like a vampire.
Natural.
Okay. So sorry. Okay, let me get back to this. So, vampires are real?
Yes, we are a real community that exists. The practice has been around for quite a long time. I should lead in to say that you have the Hollywood movies and things like that that actually cast a certain negative stereotype. We are, you know, some of us actually have a religious faith, I guess you'd say.
What's yours?
I'm an eclectic. An eclectic would be someone who would...
I thought he was going to say, I'm a Pentecostal.
Well, if you were to... if you were to define an eclectic, it would be a person who would study up on all the different main religions of the world to be able to get a higher perspective or understanding, I guess you say, of the higher being, you know, that we all are connected to.
And there's 3 different types of vampires.
Yes, there is.
Tell me about the first type.
The first kind would be considered a blood feeder. The definition would be called a sanguinarian. And the sanguinarian, as they feed on the blood is a rudimentary means of being able to transform the life force energy, per se.
So tell me, what's the second type?
The second kind would be the psychic vampire, what we call Psi for short. And that would be a person who has pretty much gone away from the blood. Blood these days is considered a taboo subject, you know what I mean? And it's blood, you know?
It's just blood.
But at the same time, it's a transference of the life force energy without touching someone or just by laying of the hands and such.
Okay, and then the third type is the hybrid, which means both.
Yes.
Which type are you?
I am a hybrid.
You're a hybrid.
Correct.
So you drink people's blood?
Correct. Actually, let me expound upon that. It wouldn't be anybody who would, you know, of course anybody can catch, you know, certain things like HIV and any other types of diseases and such. I wouldn't want to be feeding off of someone who, per se, has any type of psychotropic drugs inside of them and such, you know.
Psychotropic, what does that mean? Break it down.
Well, you'd have Vicodins.
Heroin.
Heroin.
Crack.
Whatever. Definitely wouldn't, you know, just as you wouldn't either or whatever.
Just like I wouldn't either. Just like I wouldn't bite somebody's neck that had some drugs in them.
Tyra.
Okay. I know you're nervous. You're not nervous now, right? You didn't know it was going to be fun. You thought I was going to attack you. No. I'm not going to attack you. You're going to attack me. Okay. So how do you get the blood from people?
Okay. The blood is pulled from the vein, of course, with a lancet.
What's a lancet again?
Some people in the audience might be familiar with it, especially if they've given blood, usually hooked up to
like a needle, like a
needle, lancet.
Okay.
And it's usually within the main veins and such. And pretty much we'd connect it over to an area, a receptacle or something like that. And
like
usually
a glass.
I would just need
and you
much
put the
like
blood into a glass. Okay, we're going to check out how Don feeds blood from humans.
For Henry, drinking blood is on one level a part of his identity as a vampire. But Henry claims that the need to ingest blood is also physical and tied to his health and well-being.
I was expecting that reaction.
That is crazy. So what does it taste like?
It all depends on who you're feeding from. Some people have a higher iron content. If you excuse my language here, but if you scare the crap out of somebody and they have a high amount of adrenaline in them, you can actually get an adrenaline high that is actually absorbed into it.
So do you scare people first and then bite them?
No, that'll be quite, you know, mean. I'm quite humane.
Okay, you're humane, but you're not a human.
Well, human body, but at the same time not spiritually. Correct.
Okay, and how much blood do you drink?
If I were to do a feeding, it would be about 1 vial.
1 vial of blood,
like
when we go to the
maybe 6 inches long.
Okay. All right. So when you drink the blood, you said it feels euphoric? It feels like sex?
It can, yes.
Yeah? Okay. Do you have sex?
No, I don't actually. I'm celibate, believe it or not. No,
So what do you mean you're celibate?
I don't have sexual practices or anything like that. I don't have a need for it, really. It's quite human. It's an emotion that I've just kind of gotten rid of. I study mostly priestly activities these days, so...
So you study priest activities?
Yes, more on a spiritual edge, I guess you'd say.
Okay, so are you ever horny?
Not really. I have in the past, of course, but at the same time, I've moved my mind away from that.
So you don't have sex? I would think that in that movie, in the TV show True Blood on HBO, the vampires are having a lot of sex. There is this one scene, I think it was either the first or second episode, and the vampire is having sex with this one lady, and he's going, like, it was so scary.
That was quite entertaining.
So scary. Now the clip that we watched was from National Geographic, all right? So you know, National Geographic is like real. You know, when you're a little girl and you see that on the coffee table of your mama's house, you're like, ooh, that's a real magazine. So it's not like a game. Do you sleep in a casket?
No, there's a difference between a casket and a coffin.
What's the difference?
A casket is something that has been brought over from Europe, and it's usually the thing that has the 2 different sections.
Okay.
And it looks a lot more modern. There's my coffin right there.
Oh, a coffin is one thing, one
correct.
top.
Then that would be considered a toe pincher. That one right there is about 7 feet long, about 2 feet tall. That one was custom made for me.
And you sleep in that?
From time to time, it's considered a sensory deprivation chamber.
So you don't hear anything, smell anything?
Correct.
Okay, what's this about all your birthmarks fell off? What does that mean?
That's one of those things that just happens over time, especially through purification. I've done lots of purification practices.
So the birthmarks fall off
yes.
your body?
Yes.
Okay, I have a birthmark on my neck. Get really close, Scott. Like, you have to get so close. There's a birthmark. So if I was a vampire, that would be gone?
If there were certain practices that you did for certain cleanses, yes, purification